What's up, Mr. Chang here? COVID day 5. Whole week we've been at it. Today's video is a review of prisms and volume. Then you've got a couple of Khan Academy videos to watch. Then instead of an exit ticket, I'm going to set you loose on a little bit of IXL, a specific set of skills in IXL that I want you to work on. I'm pumped. I just continue to be impressed by the amount of people that are just coming on and doing work. I want to start sending a couple special shout outs to people that I haven't mentioned before, but Carmen, Daniel Bonda, LJ, welcome. Max, thank you for sending me those questions. Sebastian, Frank, Isabella, Luis, Angel M, Ashley, Flores, what's up? Welcome Zoe, welcome Leo, welcome Venice. Venice, tell Davian to do some work. Samuel A, Katie, Carmen, hello. Juliana, Joanna, Camila, Daisy, Jeffrey Cuervo, what's up? Eduardo, Sophia, Venus, and Santiago in an exit ticket told me he wanted a special shout out. So Santiago, here's your special shout out. What's up? Glad to have you. So the main thing we're going to do today is look at the volume of prisms. And to do that really well, we should review what volume is and what a prism is. So earlier in the week, I introduced you to prisms. They're three-dimensional shapes or objects. You can read the technical definition on the side: a polyhedron with two identical polygon bases connected by rectangles. So the prism is a very special shape, as you can tell from the definition, a very special object. So let's focus on the first part of it, this idea of identical polygon bases. What does that mean? So a polygon base, in this case, are the two triangles on the top. There's one of them. And on the bottom, there's the other one. Those are your two polygon bases. They're polygons because they have straight lines. And one's on top, one's on the bottom. Sometimes the bases, if the prism is laid on its side, are on the left and right. So you have to look. You have to make sure you understand which side the prism is on and what the actual bases are. So here's a couple of examples in real life where you actually see a triangular prism. There's a hunk of cheese, a bar of Toblerone, which is one of my favorite chocolates, and then also a tent, one of these old school tents. So where are the polygon bases? Well, this hunk of cheese, the bases are on the top and the bottom. There's one triangle on the top that makes up a base. And on the bottom, there's another triangle. You can't see through the block of cheese, but believe me, there are two triangles there that make up the base of this cheese block. And they are prisms. They're the bases of the prism. And those two triangles are exactly the same. It might be a little more obvious on this box of Toblerone. In this case, the Toblerone is laying on its side. So the prisms are the bases are actually on the side of the bar, not on the top and bottom. They're on the sides. Same thing with this tent. This tent is laying on its side, so there's one of the polygon bases on the back side, and then on the front, here's the other triangle that makes up a base of this prism, and these two are exactly the same. So you have two identical bases. They can be top to bottom. They can sometimes be side to side, but they have to be exactly the same. And in this case, we have examples where the triangles are the bases, and those two triangles are exactly the same. So it's also sometimes helpful to look at a prism and look at something that's not a prism so you can understand the difference. So the prism is on the left. And again, you can see two triangles, one on top, right there, one on the bottom, and these are both exactly the same. Okay? versus a prism on this side, and it's got a rectangular base right there. There's the rectangle that makes up the base of the pyramid. But what you'll notice is there is not another rectangle on top. So it's clearly a pyramid. It's going up. There's not an exact replica rectangle on top. So hopefully you can see the difference between the pyramid and the prism, and that'll help you understand what a prism actually is. It's got to have two identical shapes, either on the top and the bottom or on side to side. Okay. All right. So that's a quick review on what a prism is. Hopefully that adds a little bit to your understanding of it. We're going to move on now to talk about volume. So then the next thing you're thinking is, okay, I got an idea of what a prism is. Now I got to wrap my head around volume. So what is volume? Taking a look at this slide, I've got a picture of my refrigerator in there. And volume is the measure of the space inside a three-dimensional object. So if you're looking at this picture of my fridge, you can see that this refrigerator is basically a giant rectangular prism. There's one rectangle right there. And if I drew a line going to the back, from one there, and down there, and down there, you would have another rectangle inside that is about this, that is exactly identical to the one on the outside, and it's connected by rectangles. So this is a rectangular prism, your refrigerator, and the volume is all the space inside. It's all the space. It's the measure of the space inside that box, this big box in the case of a refrigerator. So your refrigerator is a rectangular prism, AKA fancy word for a box, a big box. It's got two sides that are rectangles that are exactly identical. Those are your bases. And the volume is the measure of what's inside. And volume is measured in cubic measurements. So in this case, for the refrigerator, the whole space inside that fridge is about 12 cubic feet in volume. So you can see on the slide, 12 cubic feet. It's also abbreviated FT with a superscript 3. That means 12 cubic feet. The FT is short for feet. And then this little 3 right there, that means cubed. 3 equals cubed. All right, so let me give you an even more practical, hands-on, real-world way of understanding what 12 cubic feet is as it relates to my refrigerator.
So you're probably asking yourself, Mr. Chang, what is a cubic foot? Well, you're in luck because we're in my studio. And in my studio, there happens to be a cooler that is 1 cubic foot. Here we have my tape measure. You know that a foot is 12 inches, so I've got 12 inches measured out there. 1 foot, 12 inches. Take a look at this. Boom. It's about 12 inches tall. It's about 12 inches wide. It's about 12 inches deep. This cooler is a cubic foot.
You know, another way to just visualize for yourself what a cubic foot is a cubic foot is like a humongous teddy bear. If this were a teddy bear and you could wrap your arms around it
That's like a cubic foot, like a big one. Like, you know, it's kind of short, but something you can rest your head on, something that you can squeeze. So any shape that will fit like around your arms that you could rest your head on, that goes down to about your waist, that's about a cubic foot.
So let's bring it back to my fridge. My fridge is 12 cubic feet. You know, my cubic feet is, about the size of a cuddly cooler. So what that actually means is if you can imagine me putting those coolers into my refrigerator, I would stack 2 on top of each other. So I'd have a stack of 4. I'd push them all the way back to the back of my fridge, and I'd still have room in front for another 2 more rows of coolers. So there you go. I stack 4 coolers in the back, 4 more coolers in front, another 4 all the way to the front of the fridge. That's 12 coolers that fit into my refrigerator. That's 12 cubic feet. And in real life, that's how big fridges usually are. So whenever you see that little superscript 3, that little 3 above the FT right there, that means you're dealing with volume. Remember, volume is 3 dimensions, 1, 2, 3. So any unit of measure you're going to use, whether it's feet, inches, centimeters, or meters, we're going to put a little 3 at the top of the abbreviation to let you know that we're talking about volume. So volume is a measure that is cubed, so cubic feet, cubic inches, cubic centimeters, cubic meters. The appropriate way to show the unit of measure when you're using volume is to cube the units. Put that little 3 up there. So at the end of this video, you've now got a really good primer on what prisms are. You've got a refresher on volume. Now I've got 2 Khan Academy videos for you to watch that take you into the volume of prisms, how you actually calculate it. After that, I'm going to have you do a little IXL. That's your COVID day 5. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Keep your social distance. Wash your hands as much as possible, and let's flatten the curve. Thank you guys very much.